Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you at. I apologize for that. I had to throw something on the grill right there real quick. But I want to just say thank you for stopping through. It's your boy Talk Williams, host and creator Hip Hop 50th. Play me a couple games of chess before I get back to some studying I was doing. Just to let you know, not that you even care. Not that you even should care, right? I'm actually setting up my strategy and trying to develop a new habit to learn how to speak conversational Spanish um, in the coming year. So I'm giving myself a 12-month plan to be able to do that. And I'm in Chicago. Some people say, hey, don't you, how do you, so I'm just figuring it out because we live in a different world now. We live in a different time. In the meantime, I'm gonna play some live chess. I'm on chess.com. I can't play that good. My rating is under 1100. It's 10 something. The guy I'm playing is also a 10 something. I have white. I'm gonna open up with a London. So I'm gonna get my bishop outside of my pawn ranks or whatever, and I'm gonna try to close a little pawn tree here with my white pawns real quick. There you go. So officially I am in a London. That's that look where you have the tree shaped pawns and the bishop outside of it. All right, okay. So then after that, what I typically do is bring my knight out in front of my queen. These are just typical behavioral or repetitive movements. There's not a lot of strategy to this. Let me just be perfectly honest. So this whole London approach also speaks to the fact that I don't have a lot of game when it comes to chess because play, most people who can play, they don't use the London approach, right? Um, so here I have my bishop. I'm going to pull it back. Hopefully he'll take it, and then I like taking that with my pawn to open up my rook file here. Yeah, so if he takes this bishop, that'll be good for me. He didn't take it. So that's fine. Typically what I do now is I bring my other knight up because the reason why I do that is to cover. Oh, but he just sliding up. he's he's sliding up on the other side like okay. He's like, man, I'm with it. Yeah, so um do I feel the pressure? Yeah. Do I know exactly what I should be doing at this point? No. Am I going to do something? Yeah, I'm going to do something. I'm going to push this pawn up like that to be able to say, get up off of me for a minute. Of course, this is a 5 minute game. Again, I'm on chess.com and I'm a bum and he a bum. All right, so he took my white bishop. I take it back with the pawn. That's good because it gives me this little file right here, a little breathing room there. That's good. So now I'll come over with my knight. I'll come over with my knight now. Let's see if he trade knights. He did. That forces his out of the pocket, which is okay. See, I like this part here. And then what I do is I'm gonna push up with my pawn, just like that, and then come behind it with my knight. You see what he doing, right? You see what he up to. Uh, that changes my plan. I'll go here. Let's see if he pushes his pawn. Seems like that's what he wants to do. He's weakening his side to me, but that's the untrained eye. Um, Let me push down this way some more because the goal here is to open up that side. Let's see if he takes my pawn or not. He shouldn't be taking that pawn. And he didn't take it. Okay, cool. So I'll take. Let's see what he does. All right, he took. So that's still okay. That's not bad. In fact, I'm going to come down here with my... Oh, I can't do that because he can bring his rook over. So that wouldn't be a smart move on my part. I need to put pressure the other way. Okay, so let me put my queen over here. Let's do that. I have 2 minutes left. He has 3 minutes 45 seconds left. So he's winning on time. I don't know so much about position. Okay, so now I will do this. Okay, I want to open that side up. That's what my focus is. Open that side up. I'm surprised he let me do that, but I guess he wants to just keep taking pawns, which makes sense. That makes sense, but now I can take that pawn sitting right there. Oh, he's still just taking these pawns. He's on this pawn thing, like deep. What should I be on right now? Okay, I'll do that. Let's see if he bring his queen out. I hope he does, actually. That's great that he did that. Because now that was a wasted move on his part. Now he has to back up, which gives me room to take that pawn in front of that bishop. See? Okay, he didn't have to back up, but you guys get what I'm saying. What's going on here? All right, let me do this first. Yeah, let me do that. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he takes that. Now, couple things. I get to come down and say check, but I'm not yet. First I'm gonna take this and clear my rook up for that move. So let's see what he does. Because I'm gonna go down with my white bishop and call check if he pushes his pawn, right, which is what he did. So now I come down, I say check. Yep. I want to see what he does. Okay, that's cool. Because now I'm going to come down with my rook and say check. See what he does. All right, that's cool too. Because I'm going to take that with that rook. He's going to take with the bishop. Or not. Maybe not. Yeah, he took it with the bishop. Which is cool because now I'm going to come... How do I want to do this? Do I want to come across? Yeah, come across just like that. Threaten the bishop. Let's see what he do. Damn, he got me on that. He got me on that, huh? Yeah, he got me on that one. I gotta get that piece up. Hopefully he take it with the bishop. Damn, I slapped that. Yeah, that's cool. Now they gonna swap queens, I'm sure. That only makes sense. That only makes sense. I gotta come over here and try to block something now. Hey, let me see, how can I do this though? Let me come here first. Okay. Then I can come down with this. I'm gonna lose on time anyway. I would have lost the game anyway. I was tripping. Check. Yeah, this game is a wrap. Let me grab my grill real quick. Let me turn the music back up for y'all. Let me put some music back on.
In this dance,
Is that playing?
no rush, let the night unfold. With your hand, I can be bold. When the lights go low, we'll move just like the flow. In this moon trail I see, it's just you, she and me.
Let me show you, baby. In this moment now, I see your smile and it lights up the crowd. You got that glow, you shine. Every little step, it's all divine.
And feel the rhythm flow. It's just you and me. Let's take it slow. Girl, don't you doubt my love. We'll find the way like stars above. So hold on, we'll find a way.
In this dance, we'll swing. No.
Yeah, I apologize. That music y'all hear in the background, that's a AI app that I use called Udio, and it allows you to create sounds or create like music, like songs or whatever. Like you're not creating it. Let me back off of that because I'm not creating anything. It generates the sounds, the songs, the instruments, the genres, whatever one you want, with vocals, without vocals, it does it. And the cool part about it, if you're looking for music to play on any social media platform, if you use something like a Udio, you won't get any content violations. You won't get any copyright violations or any of that stuff because it don't exist yet. It's generating it. That's the cool part about it. Yeah, it just don't exist. It's yours. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you think you can do with it, you can do it because it's AI generated. It did not exist prior to you generating it. So you actually own it in that sense. That's why it's two apps that's really a little popular, I think, that's out there. And that's Suno, S-U-N-O, and the one I use called Udio, U-E-D-I-O. Not U-E, U-D-I-O. It's spelled like studio without the S and the T. That's what it is. But it works. It's cool. Because I get to, create the music, different genres or whatever, and it does the thing. It does. And I ain't got to worry about, like I said, copyright violations. You're copyrighting, you're getting a UMG, you're getting, all of the stuff that they call it. You don't get any of it. So, let's see what we got here. Of course, I'm attempting to win a game. I know all about Udio. I know all about AI generation. I don't know too much about winning in chess, so let me work on that. Can we get some of that going? That becomes the real question. Yeah, I'm fixing me a little lunch on the grill over there, and hold up, let me bring this up. Anybody in there? Okay. Let's see what this is real quick. All right, here we go. All right. Let me back off of that. Okay. See what this guy's up to. I could blame it on the fact that I haven't eaten lunch. I'm hungry. That's why I can't play that well. But that would be a lie. So. Yeah, it just wouldn't be no truth to that. Is it Mamu? Nah. And he has like 30 more seconds than me. Look, he checked me. Ain't that something? Alright, so let me pull in like that. Okay. I'm trying to think what I should do there. Alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and push the pawn. I'm not gonna swap out pawns and push it. Yeah, that's a better position for me right there. Because now I can get my bishop out. I can get my knight out. I'm surprised that was free for him. Um, let me just get my queen out real quick. Yeah, let me get that out. Then I think I can castle. Yeah, I'm a castle. Yeah, then I'm a castle. Yeah, there you go. So whatever his knight decides to do is okay with me. Yeah. Let's see. He's gonna get a pawn out of this, definitely. He'll get a pawn out of it. That's if he takes my pawn right there in front of my. Oh, he didn't take it. He took my bishop instead. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and now he comes across. Alright, all of that makes sense. Um, let's see, it's still a 2-for-1 deal. I mean, we're gonna swap. That's how I look at it. Let's see what he does with his bishop. He gonna take it. He just threatens. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I need to move my king because he got me pinned down. But I can't move it because then that opens him up to get a free piece, right? I'm just trying to think through this. Yeah, shout out to, I guess it's Junaid the MD1. Yeah, Junaid the MD1. I gotta get you to play my game for me, Junaid. Hold up. Alright, so, what do I do here? Not sure. Oh, wow, he pinning me down, man. He is pinning me down. Yeah, he pinning me down. He pinning me down. It's David from the UK. David Roberts. I'm going to leave these numbers off. I'm thinking YouTube adding these numbers. But shout out to David Roberts. Shout out to Bailey. Oh, he came back. All right, so that gives me some false hope. So this is my opportunity to run out the way with my king because I think he was going to do that move. Yeah. That gave me some false hope. It did. Oh, I'm surprised he left that sitting there. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see what he does. We have the same amount of time. Both of us have like a minute, 20 some seconds left. So, and yeah, did I turn that music down? Let me make sure I turned that music down. Hold on. Oh yeah, I turned it down. I'm sorry for any feedback or the bad sound from the mic. All right, so okay, so that's cool right there because I'm definitely taking the bishop because I'm threatening his bishop, right? That's the correct move. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to take the bishop because I'm threatening his bishop. That is okay with me. Yeah, that's okay with me. Matter of fact, let me go all the way over. I'll go all the way over. That's cool. Yeah, go all the way over. Now I can come in here. Yeah, there we go. This is all good right here because let me see what happens when he move that. push. I don't know what he gonna push, but I'm out of time. I'm out of time, so all this doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna resign. I lost that. I'm out of time. Let me get me another set going. Yeah, I blew that. All right, let me go to my London again. I'm gonna fast track this game. I'm gonna just go stick with the standard London system. Got my bishop outside my pawns. Got my little triangle going. And he seems to be doing a reverse London on the other side. That's fine. The only difference between his London and my London is because I'm doing it first. I'll be one step ahead of what's supposed to be going on. See, even here, so I get to do this first. Bring my queen out and threaten this pawn in the corner to make him move his, to make him either push it or move his queen over. Okay, so there you go, he moved his queen over. So now because he's moved his queen over, I put my knight right there. Now he's gonna slide it back, of course. He's gonna slide it back to the white next to the green knight. That's where he's gonna slide his queen. Oh, but he didn't. He didn't. Alright, so that's cool that he didn't. I just had to back up. Now he has to move his queen. All right, that's good. And I guess just for giggles, I'll push the pawn. Let's see what he does. I really don't mind this too much. I really don't, because now I don't even really need, well, I'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, he's kind of doing what I wanted him to do. So now I'm going to just jump out and say chat, because he's kind of doing what I wanted him to do. I know he don't think so, but, and he shouldn't think so, but he's doing what I want him to do. Yeah. See how it works? Watch this. Check. Yeah, he's doing exactly what I want him to do. Oh, wow, okay. That's your move. All right, so there's all types of things I could do here. I could come right in. Oh, I just gave the game away. I blundered. I just gave the game away. Y'all see what happened? I'm resigning. If he don't take the queen, it's right there. You know why he can't see it? He can't see it because it's too obvious, because he was being threatened. That's why he can't see it. But he give him a few more seconds. Yeah, he finally saw it. Yeah. So I'll resign. I'm not going to hold it up. I don't deserve to win if I could win. But that's one of them games where I'm resigning that. I'm going to ask him to run it back. Let's see if he give me a rematch. I just clicked on rematch. Let's see if he gives me one. No, he didn't. Hold out. Let me turn my grill off. Yeah, that's what happens when you're a bum like me. You blunder, you do all the kinds of stuff like that. Here's a question. I'm gonna throw this out to you guys. Any of you guys like on chess.com or like what's your rank? Is it called? What is it? What is your rating on chess.com? Of course, mine is super low. They give you 800 or 900. Mine is only 1,000 at this point, but I'm just curious. If any of you guys are on chess.com, what's your rating? Okay. Yeah, I blended that. Okay, let's do this. He pushes up. Let's do that. Okay, I like this already. Yeah, this is I like this. hmm I do like this. Yeah. Let's see what he does with the queen. Ah, okay. What can he do with the queen? Nope, I don't want to do that yet. Or should I do that? I don't know. I'll do it. Let me push this out. All right. Can I threaten him again? No, I guess I can't. So I'll do that. I just want to put him in a position where he has to sacrifice a major piece or a larger piece for. Well, he just pushed me up off of it, so that thought is over. That idea is gone. I'll do it now. Double up his pawns on that side. Yep, that is the move. Yeah, double up the pawns and then come down with my queen. See, I sneak down right now with my queen because now I get a pawn either way. Or it forces him to push his king up. There you go. That's good right there. So now I can come over. And now I'm gonna put my rook. I'm gonna line my rook up right there. So let me see, what side should I do this on? This side here. This side here. Oh yeah, I gotta do it on the other side because he can threaten. He can come down and say check with his bishop, and I wouldn't be able to move my horse to take it. But now I can. What I'm really trying to do, yeah, that's cool that he did that. But what I was really trying to do was line my rook up. Pawn take middle pawn. Pawn take middle pawn. I want to line my rook up. That's what I really want to do. That, like that. So if he come up off the space, oh, okay, I see that. I see that. What they say? I see that. Bring my rook up. Oh, that rook won't help. I see that. Now they get the free bishop. Dag, man. Now they get the free bishop. He gonna get something free here, but I don't want it to be that bishop. I definitely don't want him mating me. Alright, I'm gonna just move out the way. He has the knight. I'm moving out the way. I think I'm done anyway. Because his bishop is on my rook. I'm going to resign. I ain't going to hold him up. I don't like holding him up when the game is a disaster. It's bad enough I can't play that good. And then to hold somebody up is just reckless. So I'll just start another one. I always stay in the game when I think I got a good fight, when I can compete, even though I'm not that good. But when I see that, this is like done, and I'm just exercising my constitutional rights to continue to play it because I got time left and he got to let me move and all of that stuff, I don't do that, man. That's just, I don't do that. No. If it was like close, like, oh, okay, so there's some stuff going on here, more involved, yeah, I'd do it. Like, why wouldn't I? Bring my bishop over here. knight over here. Yeah. There we go, because I wanted to get the knight in there. That's what I wanted. Right there. Now I can come in and do the pin. That's what y'all was telling me the last time. That's why I like this London system, because on a low level, like on my level, and people that play at my level, it's some little tricks and gotchas and stuff you can do with this London system. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it works out pretty cool, because it's some standardized stuff. It's, like, I will admit, and people already know, with the London system, it's not like you got a real nice game, like you know what you're doing and all of that. It ain't that at all. It's just that the setup itself allows you to get past the beginning game. Nobody's gonna mate you in 3 moves and then fool's mate, none of that stuff. The London system is set up where that's just not gonna happen to you, because the way that you move in your pieces, the whole idea of getting the bishop outside of the pawn tree that you're developing and all of that stuff just makes it work out pretty cool. So let's see if I can press this. That was a smart move by him, but before he does that, of course, I'm gonna put the pressure right there. All right, that's cool. And now that that's there, do I have any opportunity? Yeah, I do, right here, because I want him to push. So there you go. All right, so now do I have any opportunity? Because we're going to trade that bishop. That's why I'm not like, move the bishop, move the bishop, move the bishop. No, we trading that. Oh, but I know what I do. I pull back. Let's see, let him take it. There you go. Now I open up my rook. There we go, right there. And should I press this? What should I do here? I'll just take it. Okay, it's not a lot to that. Yeah, just take it, just take it. There you go. That's what I wanted. And now, let's see, I'm gonna bring him over like this. Ain't there something how people just freeze like that move right there when all he got to do is bring his rook over to the corner? I'm going to castle, though, when he do that. Like, make no mistake about what I'm getting ready to do. I'm castling. So, yeah, make no mistake about that, about what was getting ready to happen there. Yeah, I straight out castle that. But that's something how our minds work, like, that was an obvious move, but it don't be that obvious. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you guys, y'all, y'all play at that level, so it's something different with y'all. Let's see if I can push up off of this bishop. Let me see how this can work. Push up off of this bishop. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, let me let that sit there. So if I can move, if I have to move my rook, I can. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that coming. I saw that. I saw that coming. All right, so let me do that. Now, hold up. You see how the mind works? He giving me the bishop, and I'm taking it. See how the mind works? Yeah, you get one of them back. You can't get both of them. Which one you want? You get one of them. There you go. My man. There you go. Listen. Hear me out. I ain't mad at you. I'm not. I'm just not. Let me see now. Get this down there. In fact, back here. Oh no, he gonna check me. I see what he doing on that. I see what he doing. I'm with him. I'm with him. I'm with him. He gonna check me on that. He gonna call check and take my bishop. That's what he gonna do. So I gotta do something with it. Let me go ahead and take a piece. That way, if he check me, all right, that's cool. That's cool. There you go. There we go. Yeah, that's why I did that, because he was gonna get that. Mm-hmm. I guess he walking through it like, all right, what do you get ready to do? You know what I'm getting ready to do? Oh, he didn't check me though. Damn. Okay. Now I got his queen pent. Even if he bring his rook down, his queen pent. He just gave the game up. He gave the game up. Let me see how I'm gonna do it. Chat. Okay. I'm trying to take his rook, which I can take right here. But I'm gonna take his queen first. Y'all know that. Give me that. Yeah, my man. Chat. Bring your rook down. That's all you gonna do. Chat. No. Yeah, I'll do that. My man. Okay. Chat. Now he gonna lose the rook. He shouldn't even did that. He should have took my pawn. He should have took my pawn. That's all he had to do. All right, so let me see. I'll get it. Oh, I just force it like this, chat. Yeah, I just want to take his queen. I mean, take his rook. So, let's see, chat. Okay, chat. 7 seconds left. That wasn't me, man. That was the computer. He didn't even take it. I'm out of time though, but he didn't take my queen. That was the computer, man. That was the computer, man. What was I saying though? I'm gonna grab my sandwiches, man. If y'all drop, I understand it. But I don't know if any of you guys into AI or anything like that. But man, these jobs, these AI jobs, this the economy, what's getting ready to happen next year? Ooh, heavy bags. She play on the app too. Naj front. Why he didn't take the queen, I don't know. But I guess, you know what, Naj? He don't have to take the queen. I only had like 1 second left or something crazy. But I'm going to grab my sandwiches, man. Like I said, thanks for stopping through, guys. I'm going to jump back on in a second. I'm going to be about 5 minutes or so. But what do you think about AI? Do you guys have any different plans about your jobs, your businesses, clients you're going to get, maybe a current position that you have at a job that you at? Like, what are you guys doing? Are you using AI tools to augment, make your job better? Have you used it? Has it saved you time? Has it allowed you to learn or gave you some clarification on those little sticky points or challenges that you have had? You know, especially if you're a knowledge worker dealing with systems and technology and all of that stuff, man. I'm just curious about it. And the other thing is, Gen Z, man, they got it bad coming out of college. They say the unemployment rate for Gen Zers, those are those people that was born between 1997 and 2012. So that's that 15-year slide right there, right? 1997 and 2012. They're 13 years old. They're between 13 and 28 years old now. And they're saying that the unemployment rate for the new graduating class this year, since we're not in 2026 yet, but 2025 was like over 6-7%. The unemployment rate for the nation is only over 4%. And they also stated that unemployment for the age range between 16 and 24 is like 10 to 11%. So those jobs, those technology jobs or support level jobs or entry level jobs, no matter what the domain is, if you're a knowledge worker dealing with systems, they just not, they're not as readily as available, as available. They're not as readily available as they were in the past for two reasons. It's a shrinking economy. And then on the back end of that, AI is coming. So you got AI coming over the horizon to eliminate a whole gang of jobs, but you got a shrinking economy where the companies, they just not hiring the way that they used to, man. But I like what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said something dope about it. Elon Musk said, man, you don't, it ain't college. It's, Elon Musk said, I'm gonna play the clip. Let me get it up on the screen. Elon Musk said, he tells his, I guess he has what's called a chancellor of hiring. So that's SpaceX for you, SpaceX, they the big boys, right? Tesla, they the big boys. Elon Musk says, we don't, they don't just have a HR department. They have a chancellor of hiring, which is essentially is the HR department, right? But what he was saying was they don't require the college degree. That's not their first look. That's not what they're looking at. He says that college has its purpose, but it's not necessarily for learning. And what he's talking about is knowledge working, meaning people coming out in IT, engineering, writing code, different things like that, tech support and all of this stuff, right? His thing is, nah, we don't require a college degree, but there has to be evidence of exceptional ability. So I'll just play this clip. This is him talking about it. I'm gonna grab my sandwich, come right back.
Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning. There is a value that colleges have, which is like, seeing whether somebody's.
I apologize. I had turned the volume down so low on the desktop. Let me play this. Let me run this back and turn the volume up. What you're gonna hear is you're probably gonna hear two clips. You're gonna hear one clip of Elon Musk talking about it. You're gonna hear a second clip where a bachelor's of science or a group of young adults about to graduate in their bachelor of science class. One of them asks Mark Zuckerberg, of course we know, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, will a bachelor of science degree even matter anymore? So I'm gonna run that back to back, and where is that? It's right there. So I apologize. You guys should be able to hear it now, maybe.
You don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning. There is a value that colleges have, which is like, seeing whether can somebody work hard at something, including a bunch of sort of annoying homework assignments, and still do their homework assignments and kind of soldier through and get it done. That's like the main value of college. And then also, if you probably want to hang around with a bunch of people your own age for a while instead of going right into the workforce. So I think colleges are basically for fun and to prove you can do your chores, but they're not for learning. So I'm going to make sure Tesla recruiting does not have anything that says requires university, because that's absurd. But there is a requirement of evidence of exceptional ability. Like, you just can't, if you're trying to do something exceptional, they must have evidence of exceptional ability. I don't consider going to college evidence of exceptional ability. In fact, ideally you dropped out and did something. I mean, obviously, we look at Gates is a pretty smart guy, he dropped out. Jobs, pretty smart, he dropped out. Larry Ellison, smart guy, he dropped out. I'm like, obviously not needed.
So,
did Shakespeare even go to college? Probably not.
up front, Mark.
How you doing? My name is Tolly McMillan. I'm a sophomore political science student from the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Next governor. But my question to you, I want to thank you for coming here. My question for you, do you think a bachelor's degree with your experience with college and everything, do you think a bachelor's degree is a necessary key to attaining success?
Ooh, I am not your role model on this one. Yeah, absolutely. Stay in school. Look. I think it helps. I loved the time that I spent in college. I wish I could have gotten more time. I did not choose to leave. I just happened to build Facebook, and it kind of made me leave. But if I had the opportunity to learn for 2 more years in college, I mean, college is this magical time, right, where you get to explore different interests and focus on different things and meet great people. And that is not something that I would have wanted to have given up. And if I could have magically if I could have done Facebook in my senior year, I would have done that. Or after I left, I would have done that, and I wish I could have stayed in college. But, and of course, there's no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of research that shows that having a bachelor degree absolutely does help increase your job potential, your earnings potential, all that. So, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's kind of crazy for, I'm not necessarily the best spokesperson for this message, but like, unless there's a really, really good reason to leave college, you really should finish college. And even me, I'm going back to college to I'm going to get a degree this year. Harvard finally allowed me to come back. And I have to say, I think that this is probably going to be the thing that my parents are most proud of me for. So look, yes, I'm not the right messenger, but stay in school.
And this is a unique way of doing computation, but the benefit, of course, is that everything isn't preconceived and pre-documented, and it's contextually sensible and therefore intelligent.
So AI factories and robotics, and we heard it yesterday from His Royal Highness, his vision, how to augment our workforce with roughly tens of millions of robotics to be able to infuse the next wave of productivity and progress. But this scares a lot of folks here when it comes to the future of jobs. So let's hear about your thoughts, Elon and Jensen, on that.
Sure. Well, if you say like in the long term, where will things end up? Long term, I don't know what long term is. Maybe it's 10, 20 years, something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional?
Optional. So
we'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional. Now, between now and then, there's actually a lot of work to get to that point. And I always recommend people read Ian Banks' culture books to get a sense for what a probable positive AI future is like. And interestingly, in those books, money doesn't exist. It's kind of interesting. And my guess is, if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which this seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. Now, there will still be constraints on power, like electricity and mass. The fundamental physics elements will still be constraints. But I think at some point, currency becomes irrelevant.
Jensen, any thoughts?
By the way, the NVIDIA earnings call is later today.
And by the way, since currency is relevant,
Cheers.
Elon just wants to share with you some breaking news. The two of us would like to share some breaking news. Let's see. I would say there's different horizons you could look at. Everybody's jobs will be different. I think that's for sure. How the students learn will be different. How people do their work will be different, obviously, because a lot of the things that we do mundanely or arduously or very difficultly are going to be done very simply. And so we're going to be more productive from that sense. One of the things that I will say is that for most people or a company, if your life becomes more productive, and if the things that you're doing with great difficulty become simpler, it is very likely, because you have so many ideas, you'll have more time to go pursue things. It is my guess that Elon will be busier as a result of AI. I'm going to be busier as a result of AI. And the reason for that is because we have so many ideas we want to pursue, so many things that we still have in our backlog inside our company that we can go pursue. If we were more productive, we can get to those things faster. And so in the near term, I would say that there's every evidence that we will be more productive and yet still be busier because we have so many ideas. One thing that I will say, give you some evidence, is that, and I was just telling Elon about this earlier, radiology, for example, has largely been converted to AI-driven radiology, and there's some really great companies doing that. And the surprising thing is the prediction that all radiologists would be the first jobs to go was exactly the opposite. The trend shows that there are more radiologists being hired now as a result of AI. And the reason for that, if you take a step back, it's because the goal of a radiologist is not to study the images. The goal of a radiologist is to diagnose a disease. Now the studying of the images became so productive, they could study more images, study more modalities, spend more time with the patients. And as a result, they were actually accepting more patients. We're doing more radiology all around the world. We're doing a better job with diagnosing disease. And so that's kind of the near-term outcome of AI and productivity. And we'll see what happens long-term. You know, when currency doesn't matter anymore, just, you know, let me know right before.
You'll see it coming. You'll see it coming.
We text often, so just
yeah, we do.
Yeah, just text it out.
Well,
yeah, let me know.
I kind of agree with both of you, because if you look at every technological trend, every general purpose technology has been net new positive for the globe, for humanity, and so forth. And let me share with you two case studies.
And Your Excellency, I think it's precisely the reason for that is because all the great ideas from innovators like Elon, that you have so many good ideas that
and
AI,
Jensen as well.
Yeah, well, you know,
Indeed.
thank you.
So let me share with you two stories from two Saudi innovators in collaboration with a lot of the great work that NVIDIA does, that Grok does. One is Professor Omar Yagi. All right. Let me say that again. One is Professor Omar Yagi, who is...
I might need to move the mic.
All right.
Cool.
Here, come on, we'll share this one.
All right. So now...
Get closer.
Let's try this one more time. So one of them is Professor Omar Yagi, who's the first American Saudi to win a Nobel Prize in creating new chemistry. And the way he has done that, he has leveraged
Hey guys, anyway, it's your boy Talk Williams. I am back and I'm playing this game. I'm gonna finish like that piece play with Elon Musk on stage with Jensen Huang. Of course, that's NVIDIA's guy. He is the man for NVIDIA. Between him and Elon Musk and probably OpenAI, they have all the money in the world. But this idea of AI, money not being as significant and all of this stuff, I can just see some truth into that. I just do. I'll give you a quick model of that. I'll give you a quick concept of that. Let me just share a concept. Everybody has somebody in their family, I think, that's on Social Security, that's on a fixed income later on in their life. You know, they're older, they're whatever, like myself, right? Now, I'm not on Social Security. I'm not retired. I'm not any of that. I have to still find ways and means of paying my bills and earning my keep and different things like that. But my point is, when it comes to money in and of itself, if you think about other people in your family, it's really not that crucial. Do they use it? They use it. I'm not saying we're not going to use it. Is it still worth having? Do we still want it? Of course. We've been trained not to want it, not to not know how to not want it. Let me just say that. But is it a situation where there's no way money would not be sitting up there next to oxygen? Yes, there is that situation. Of course there is that situation. That situation already exists for people who are on fixed incomes, people who receive a set amount, people who are in position to pay their bills and different things like that. What do I mean by that? What am I really getting at saying that? What I mean is, with the advent of tokenization, with the use of cryptocurrency, when you talk about blockchain, when you talk about technologies that exist, and I know this is way out there for a lot of you guys because it used to be way out there for me, but when you talk about technologies that currently exist, where the economy, the economics of it can be built into the infrastructure of it, you can eliminate money. People eventually going to be paid to be home, to not work. Nobody would have thought the government would have paid people not to grow fruits and vegetables on their farm. But for decades, farmers were paid not to grow. They just were. I mean, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as, so what you saying, Todd, they just going to turn off? Don't be so rash, you know? Just think it through. Just index time, technology, economics, the way things are going, the way things are. I mean, we can already create money out of thin air, out of thought. Look at tokens. Look at Donald Trump's Trump coins, these coins. This idea that, it's got to be a precious metal, it's got to be a gold, it's got to be that. All that's gone already. All that thinking is over with. That thinking is archaic at this point. It just is. Is this a good move? Or am I getting ready to do something crazy? We'll see. I'm going to see what he do with this queen. That's what I'm curious about. But anyway, I do feel bad for the Gen Zers, though. But you get a chance and you really get bored and you want to get a new, fresh conspiracy theory that's really not a conspiracy, but has a lot of truth to it. Check out the Iceberg Index. Y'all ever heard about the Iceberg Index? Let me play this clip right here. Like, you could go to that website. You could go there now. They are mirroring, I can't say the double R's even in English. They are mirroring the current workforce.
Welcome back. Researchers at MIT just out with a new study about AI and productivity and just how many jobs could be at risk. Mackenzie Sagalis joins us with that story. Market pays attention to these MIT studies on AI.
Yeah, that last one on 95% of enterprise adoptions of AI not working out. Now MIT has built agent clones of 151 million working Americans, essentially software counterparts to real people, in order to identify which jobs are most at risk years before layoffs hit. Now, it's called the Iceberg Index, and it uses these agents to map more than 32,000 skills across 923 occupations in 3,000 counties, revealing exposure to AI displacement in every state, not just coastal cities. The report shows that while only 2% of AI-driven wage disruption is visible in tech hubs today, there's actually a hidden layer of exposure that is 5 times larger than what we see today, cutting across industries and geographies, hence why they call it the Iceberg Index. Now, findings indicate that AI can already take over tasks tied to nearly 12% of the U.S. labor market. That's about $1.2 trillion in wages, especially in careers tied to healthcare, finance, and professional services. For lawmakers preparing billion-dollar reskilling and training investments, the index offers a detailed map of where disruption is forming down to the zip code, and crucially, a way to run what-if scenarios before they commit real money and legislation. You've got states like Tennessee, Utah, and North Carolina, also co-authors on this new report, that are already using Iceberg to test everything from new training programs to skills-first hiring rules before they formally commit to policies and spending. Guys?
I'm amazed at this story, Mackenzie, and this money quote that you use, where they argue that we're basically creating a digital twin for the U.S. labor force.
But researchers do stress that this isn't a countdown clock to layoffs. It's more of an early warning map so that policymakers can move money and training around before the shock hits. And so the coolest component of this report is the fact that the Iceberg team has built an interactive simulation environment that allows states to actually experiment with different policy levers, from shifting workforce dollars and tweaking training programs to actually exploring how changes in tech adoption might actually affect local employment and GDP. Tennessee has been the furthest along with this. They've actually built their own AI and work dashboard that tracks occupational exposure and wage effects across the state, and that's helping currently to guide its policy and spending decisions.
All right, well, let's hope Elon Musk is right then, that we won't need money or jobs.
Because work is optional?
Yeah, work is going to be optional.
Like growing vegetables.
Yeah, that would pair nicely with this. Thank you, Mackenzie.
A new report is revealing the declining value of college degrees in today's labor market. This year, white-collar employers have been...
How do I get an AI?
I love this piece here I'm about to play because this is the author of a book called Freakonomics. Yeah, Freakonomics. And he is, I think his name is Steve Levitt. And he's sitting down with Google's chief technologist advisor, Ben Gomes or Gomez. Y'all can see I lost this on time, so it's whatever. But what they're talking about is the relationship or the idea of how Steve Levitt, he's a professor at UIC, University of Chicago or something like that. And he says he really feels bad in the face of AI teaching these adults, teaching students who's using their scholarship money and who have taken out loans or their family has supported them with loans just to go to these prestigious schools or what have you. And he has to sit there and come up with crafty ways of teaching something and asking them questions, giving them exams for information that doesn't even matter. He says this is a professor. He says this because this idea, like when you hear about people saying college ain't necessary for many of the professions, not all of the professions, but just a large segment, not small, like the majority of knowledge work shouldn't even require college. This is just the reality of it. And when I say knowledge work, I'm talking about work where people, 85% of what they do is on some type of system-driven automation or processing. Whether you're dealing with data, you're dealing with information of some sorts or moving it, massaging it, whether you're dealing with accounting models or other stuff like accounting, finance, marketing, a whole host of things, customer service, support levels. You could just go down a line. And those support positions, or what they call positions belonging to knowledge workers, they should not require college. They just shouldn't. And you still should be able to earn six figures even though it doesn't require college. Because to me, it just makes so much sense. I mean, I've talked to students before, and these students were adult age, right? You know, but they were still students. And I'm talking to them, and a couple of them was telling me, you know, they're getting into the graphic arts and desktop publications and all of this other stuff. And a couple of them, they was geeked up about the Adobe Premiere and editing video and some other things and the Photoshops and the different still images and what you can do to them and all of this stuff. They learning this at college. So think about it. They on a scholarship, they taking a loan, whatever it might be. A lot of times they're incurring debt. And what I was saying to those students was this: what do you think somebody's going to hire you to do? Like, what do you think? And he said, well, what do you mean? No, I'm just saying, I'm not talking about the title of the position. I'm just saying, if with your camera, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to do 5 to 7 things with that camera. When you edit still images, you're going to probably do no more than 7 to 9 things. Anything else you can research and look up. But the bell curve, meaning the 68% of what you're going to do in that domain, in that profession, in that job, is probably going to be 7 things. It's ridiculous to me that you have to sit in college and they piecemeal those 7 things and they split it amongst semesters and have you looking forward to learning that next thing. When the reality of it is, once you know how to crop, mask, copy, paste, color correction, and different things like that, your branch logic will take you to the other feature sets and functionalities based on the use case of the client, yourself, whatever it is you're doing in the environment that you're in. And the rest of it, you'll develop and you'll be able to do research. And at that time, it wasn't AI, it was Google it. And besides that, most of these applications, whether it be Adobe, whether it be a DaVinci Resolve for video, whether it be a Premiere, a Final X for Final Cut, any of these things, there's just masses of supports, of communities and different things like that. So essentially, I was challenging them that if you do some research and you find out what they're going to actually hire you to do, you can focus on those core things, those core features, them. As a photographer, you all got nice cameras. Let's say everybody in the room, there's 5 people in the room. We need a photographer. How do we know who knows what to do with the camera? Do we look at their degree? Do we look at their credits? We look at the school they went to? Maybe. Would I do that? No, I wouldn't do that. You know what I would do? Okay, come on. Take them in the gym, like a school. Take them in the gym. Take them right in the gym. I just need a school. We go to the gym, lights on. Okay, everybody get their cameras, take pictures in the center. We're going to have somebody stand there on this side of the room, over on the bleachers. That's it. Then I'm going to take them to the cafeteria. We're going to do the same thing. Then I'll probably take them in the hallway somewhere. We're going to do the same thing. Then I'm going to take them outside, either on the football field or out in the playground or even the parking lot. We ain't got to go far. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to have them shoot with whatever cameras they have. And let's assume they all have the Canon Mach 2s, the $5,000 cameras or the $3,000 camera bodies with the $2,000 lens. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I just want to eliminate that there's an issue with hardware, okay? And I would have them do that. And then look at the results. And then ask them, what was your settings on? What was your ISO? What was your f-stop? What was the temperature of the light in the gym versus the light outside versus the light in the hallway? You know why? Because all I'm really trying to flush out is who was using auto settings and can be able to represent why versus who made adjustments with manual settings and was able to qualify and represent why. That's going to separate the group for me. I don't care about your degree at that point. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care how many cameras you got and how long you've been taking pictures in auto mode. What's important to me is that you can walk in with whatever equipment that you have and you can change manual settings. That's what's important because you want to adjust the camera to the environment, because worst case scenario, you cannot adjust the environment to the camera. That's what's going to separate them to me. Not the degree, not the certification. That don't even mean nothing to me. That's where college is out. If I'm testing them for video editing, it'd be the same thing. There's only 7 to 10 things that I'm going to ask them, can they do? That's it. And that would apply to several domains. But let me shut up. I know I can go on and on. That's because that damn hot dog with them fried onions caramelized with that ketchup on that toasted hot dog roll bun. And I got the mini Coke, so I won't drink a 12 ounce. But this is a 7.5 ounce. All right, cool. Listen to this guy. Listen to the author of Freakonomics, Stephen Levitt, talk to Google's chief technologist about how bad he feels as a professor, teaching people who have taken out loans, using their scholarships, or getting their family to go in debt. Information that just don't even matter. Check it out.
Or chemistry or Shakespeare, whatever it is, just in case some moment in your life, 20 years from now, you're going to say, oh my God, I need to know a right triangle. I need to make some calculation about it. Versus just-in-time learning, which is something which actually makes sense. So you and I have both at various points in our life faced problems where we didn't know what the answers were and we didn't have the right tools. And what I do, and I assume you do, is say, well, I got to go learn those tools. And I was equipped to be able to learn those tools. So I think you're right. In a world in which you do not know what you'll be doing 5 years from now or 20 years from now, and a world in which so much knowledge is now at our fingertips, cramming your head full of facts and formulas is not the answer to managing the future. It's not even, it's self-evident that it's not the answer. But it's hard for the system to catch up, in part because the system is built on evaluation, right, of giving grades. And as an educator teaching at the University of Chicago, look, I'm the worst offender in the world. I need to somehow give some kids A's and some kids B's. And the easiest way to do that is to teach them things that don't matter in ways that are somewhat hard and overcomplicated so that I have a way to separate them out. And it's terrible, and I'm embarrassed about it, but it's what I do in my everyday life.
I think students would be lucky to have you as a professor because you're a very engaging storyteller, but also your ability to convey complex concepts. And one of the things I've been thinking about in the context of AI, right, is how do you bring that, how do you help students get to those fundamental ideas in any of these disciplines through a process of interacting with AI, or AI providing other tools that do that. And, we've got this experiment called LearnLM, which is trying to solve the basic problems of tutoring, because, there's a lot of evidence that, tutoring can actually help improve outcomes dramatically, right? Yeah. But tutoring with a human has certain properties. The AIs can be very sycophantic. They can tell you you're right when you're not right, and things of that sort. And so we have been tuning this LLM to actually be better about those characteristics that we know are true of tutors. So you're starting this school, so you're thinking about this also from the perspective of kids at K through 12. So how are you thinking about that? Are you thinking about toolkits of that sort for the students to learn? Are you thinking about a conventional curriculum?
The crux of our whole school is that by using technology, bespoke, teaching the kids the level they are, and being able to react to what they know and don't know, and so letting them skip the stuff they already know, letting them learn twice, essentially mastery learning, enabled by technology. Yeah. That is such a better way of teaching kids that our whole model is based on the idea that the stuff that they're going to test on the SAT or the ACT, like we can teach that to kids in about 1/4 of the time that it currently takes, just because there is a better way of teaching that. What I think is much harder to think about, well, now that I've freed up that time in the day, so I've got, say, 6 hours a day, that I'm not warehousing kids and using awful old 1800s technologies trying to get them to learn things about triangles. What am I going to do with them? That's actually the part that I'm really nervous about, because am I actually going to be able to deliver them a curriculum that is exciting and engaging.
Are there particular things that you see there that have been very effective?
I mean, already I think AI tutors are, as good as a run-of-the-mill human tutor. Probably, it won't be long. But to me, if I ran, the California Department of Education, my thought would be, how do I get an AI tutor in every kid's ear? Because if you told me suddenly I had a grant for, $17 billion that would put, a full-time tutor for every kid, I would take it in a second. How is there not a stampede to get kids equipped with those tools? But I don't think there is.
AI can act as a tutor, but I also believe there is the role of the human in motivating and how people interact with the technology, the teacher, the student, and so on, is being evolved. I feel like we are currently in an era of evolution. Mm-hmm. A new technology has come in, and that technology itself is evolving rapidly. And there are long-established institutions that are trying to figure out how to use that technology best. And we are trying to work with teachers and so on, right, in school systems, to help them and for them to inform us too of what's working and what's not.
Yeah.
Humans are still pretty fundamental. Like, humans learn because of humans. How are you thinking of the humans in the loop in your school?
So in our school, what we're trying to do is take teachers and turn them into cheerleaders and guides, people who are helping the kids understand who they are and who they become, and trying to get rid of obstacles that are keeping kids from doing that, which I think many people go into teaching imagining that's what they do, but then the reality takes it away.
I remember I had a history teacher in school, very inspirational. He was a Jesuit priest, and he would set up history as like, here's a situation, here are the parties, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah. Now, there's no way for us to actually know that. But the discussion kept us engaged in a way that I'd never been engaged with history before. Otherwise, it was years and dimensions of temples and numbers and dates and stuff like that, and like one king after another, right? And so this suddenly turned into something about like human beings and how they interact and so on, right? So I think it leaves you that space, but you also needed something of like what actually happened in history. Yeah. So that balance seems to be something that seems important, no?
Yes, and so I do think, we would benefit a lot from a system in which teachers felt free to be more themselves and didn't feel this pressure where, like, I've got to bomb through these 4 topics today because the state standards have 472 topics, and so I have to click off these 472 boxes, and if I don't, someone's gonna be mad at me. Like, I think I totally understand why people respond to those incentives. I think those are the wrong incentives. Honestly, I think what we're asking teachers to do at our school is to connect with kids. I mean, in part what that history professor you're talking about did, who changed the way you thought about history, gave you the freedom to actually start to be creative and to think in a history context instead of feeling like your only job is to memorize and regurgitate.
Yeah, and I think about like, one of the reasons I'm working on learning at Google is things like YouTube and Search and Gemini and even like Google Arts and Culture. And people come to those tools because they want to, not because they have to, right? So the creators on YouTube I find like really inspiring. There's so much I've learned from them. And, they don't succeed unless people want to come to that education. And they learn in a somewhat different way in that want to, rather than have to. But it feels like there are these 2 components of education, and hopefully the want to can become larger in this process using some of these tools of AI, and the have to can become more efficient and effective, right? So it seems like that's part of what you're trying to achieve in the school.
In my own classroom, I'm not excited at all. I feel like I'm part of the past in my own classroom. But here, trying to create this, it really feels like being part of the future. So it's I hope we have a conversation 2, 5, 10 years from now, in which we can both say that we spent our time well and it was fun and we've created amazing things for the world.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
dismal hiring outlook for the graduating class of 2026.
Surveys show that job prospects for recent graduates are down significantly from a year ago. So what is going on?
Gen Z college graduates face an intimidating job market. 2025 saw over 2 million undergraduates earn their degrees, and most of them are struggling to find work.
I am still on the job hunt. It is something I have to motivate myself every day to kind of wake up and do.
It's not that new grads aren't trying to find work. It's that employer demand for entry-level workers is shrinking. According to one survey, 76% of employers reported hiring the same number or fewer entry-level employees in 2025 than in 2024. That same survey found that only 30% of 2025 graduates reported finding a full-time job in their field of study. At the same time, layoffs are at their highest level since the pandemic, with nearly 1.1 million job cuts reported between January and October 2025.
I actually had a couple friends, couple colleagues, and they were struggling the same way I was. They couldn't find a job, or they were going from job to job. I still have friends today after graduating college where they just got laid off and they're trying to find a new job.
The lack of new jobs for young job hunters is due to many factors, like post-pandemic overhiring, rising costs from inflation, and AI taking on a larger role in the workplace.
Folks are kind of just sitting still. They're not looking for new roles. They're not leaving their current roles. And without those new jobs available, it's hard for an entry-level employee to get their foot in the door and start their career.
Whatever the reasons for the hiring freeze, Gen Z must now figure out how to compete in an increasingly tight job market, and whether or not a college degree is still necessary for a stable job. For 23-year-old Ashley Terrell, going to college wasn't optional.
For my parents, college was an expectation. It wasn't something they were asking me to do nicely. It was something that I was expected to do out of high school.
Ashley attended the University of Hawaii at Manoa. She graduated in 2024 with a degree in marketing, international business, entrepreneurship, and management.
After college, I hope to kind of work either like at a startup, doing something marketing related ideally.
But despite months of networking and filling out job applications in the run-up to graduation, the only offer Ashley received was from power tool manufacturer Tektronix Industries, promoting their products at a local Home Depot for $25 an hour.
I was basically a retail employee in the new Home Depot on Islands. I was down stocking Milwaukee and Ryobi products. I was drilling in display sets that you see when you walk through the aisles of a Home Depot.
Ashley eventually got another job at a local Marriott hotel, but was laid off in September 2025. At the time of our interview, she was still looking for work.
I want to say that I still am hopeful. Things are just changing really, really fast around, it seems like all industries, not just one. Half of the classmates that I graduated college with didn't have a job, and they all, walked the stage with me. And so it kind of feels like we're all in the same boat of how can we help each other when none of us are really thriving.
Ashley and her classmates are not alone. Since 2022, the unemployment rate for recent college grads has ticked up, topping out at 9.7% in September 2025, the same as for 20 to 24-year-olds with only a high school diploma. At the same time, the hiring rate for new grads in traditional white-collar industries has fallen, particularly in May and June when many companies hire entry-level employees.
The hiring rate has dropped pretty heavily from the summer of 2022 and 2021 through this past summer. In order to keep up with what we expect people to need as they enter into the labor market, we would want a hiring rate between 7 and 8%, and we're seeing around 4 to 5%.
Nick Tremper, a senior economist for payroll and HR service provider Gusto, says that many companies overhired in the post-pandemic economy in 2021 and 2022. Most of those hires have not moved on from their positions, and companies are now slower to take on new employees or refill roles following layoffs.
And what that means is that the job market is frozen in place. For people who are just starting out their careers, this means they're not getting that first step. They may not be getting that first entry-level job, and even more importantly, they're not moving on at a rate that we would have expected to see. Early in your career, you move around a lot to increase your earning potential, to increase your wages now and over your lifetime. A frozen labor market, especially for people in their 20s, means that that's just not happening for them.
Tremper also points to external factors over the last few years that have slowed down hiring.
We went from rapid wage growth to inflation to a stagnation in the labor market to unknown tariff policy. That meant that a lot of folks paused hiring.
The rise of AI has also contributed to the hiring freeze, though not necessarily in the way people might expect.
To date, we're not seeing people letting folks go because an AI can do the same type of job. But AI is allowing for this pause while small businesses evaluate where it's best to add that next employee. They're able to use AI to fill the gaps as they're thinking about their overall hiring strategy and what that looks like going forward.
In fact, AI may be responsible for some recent strength in one sector of the economy, the tech industry.
Hiring for new entrants at small businesses in the tech industry this summer, I think, is associated with AI builders. A lot of this is driven in San Francisco and San Jose. These are really the incubators for the next AI products that are coming out. They're not hiring folks to just use AI, but they're also hiring folks to build tools that incorporate AI, that expand on its abilities, and can serve some sort of market need.
But young job seekers like Ashley Terrell still see AI as a hindrance to finding a job.
I definitely feel that AI has affected the number of jobs I'm able to apply to. I have noticed in the last couple months that there have been fewer job postings that I am qualified for, just because I feel like AI is taking away some of those jobs.
Ashley says that many of her friends have given up on finding a job that matches their degrees.
Some of them have kind of settled for the underemployed route and have taken those jobs, and some of them went to trade school after getting, their BBA.
One such person is 25-year-old Chris Henderson. He graduated from Rowan University in 2022 with a degree in business management.
At the time, I saw myself getting a job in a financial firm, in an office firm, but I wasn't able to find anything that was really in my salary range. Instead, I was seeing roles like a store clerk. They didn't need a business management degree.
After 3 months of job searching, he decided to work for his family's electrician business.
Basically, my father said, Chris, the electrical trade, there's always going to be work in the field, and it is a safe career, and if you are ever having any doubts on the job market or the careers with the bachelor degree, you can always fall back on the trades, and it's always going to be a safe spot, and there's always going to be work there.
After a year, Chris decided to pursue electrician work as a career.
I actually do find it really satisfying and fulfilling as an electrician, because it's nothing better than working with your hands and completing a job that you did on your own versus like working in an office job. Something about you doing it yourself and you perfecting your craft and doing something, it gave me a satisfaction like no other.
Chris is now making about $72,000 a year and plans to use his business degree to either run his family's business one day or start his own contracting company.
Right now, with all the AI, the electric vehicles, electric vehicle charging, there's so much demand and it's just going to keep growing. And we don't have enough younger Gen Z tradesmen to do these type of roles. If you like working with your hands and you are a problem solver, I think that the trades are a great route because they offer a nice job, a nice pay, a great future, and there's nothing wrong with it.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts an increase of more than 77,000 new electrician jobs over the next 10 years. It also predicts more job openings for construction workers, nurse practitioners and registered nurses, software developers, and home healthcare aides. Many of those jobs require college degrees, but it still may take a while before the job market picks up steam.
I think in the short term, this is going to be the new normal for a little bit longer. But, I think that there are positive signs on the horizon. As the Federal Reserve continues to lower its interest rate, it'll increase stimulation in the economy, which could lead some of these small businesses to get off the sidelines and start making plans on how to grow and look towards the future.
Even as she searches for a job, Ashley Terrell says she's still glad she earned her college degree.
I don't have any regrets about going to college. The biggest way it paid off for me was just being able to grow a bit more independent away from my parents and to get some life skills.
Chris Henderson agrees.
I don't regret anything about college. There's certain aspects of college that teach you things like no other, such as time management. You learn a little more about yourself. I think that college was really a great route to really know what is your true passion.
I think the number one most powerful skill is to learn how to manage AI. Learn how to use the tool, incorporate it into what you're doing now. Learn how to communicate the fact that you can manage multiple tasks simultaneously through using tools like artificial intelligence and large language models. Flat hiring among Gen Z is something that we need to keep an eye on for not just right now, but the implications that has for the next 10 and 20 years. As these folks are trying to get skills that are able to support their long-term career progression, their overall wage growth, and also their own promotion potential. So getting folks into jobs and finding ways to do that is really important for not just today, but also for, 2 decades from now.
In 2024, the 4 largest tech companies in the United States leading advances in AI earned nearly $268 billion.
Both Amazon and Microsoft exceeding analyst estimates on both the top line and the bottom line.
But these profits have come at the cost of the dismissal of hundreds of thousands of workers who generally belong to the so-called middle class.
Despite reporting better than expected quarterly results, tech giant Microsoft announced it will be laying off roughly 6,000 employees.
Although advances in artificial intelligence promise gains in productivity, efficiency, and cost reduction, people who lose their jobs also lose the opportunity to move up the socioeconomic ladder.
Big tech companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon have been laying off a staggering amount of workers, tens of thousands of people.
The problem is that, with the elimination of these jobs, the gap between the rich and the poor is growing increasingly wider.
The digital revolution creates enormous wealth for those with the skills and preparation to take advantage, but it eliminates what economists call middle skill jobs.
Whereas in the past, workers had bargaining power due to their essential role in production, today that power is diminished in the face of machines that operate without salaries, demands, or interruptions. So, how artificial intelligence is replacing middle-class careers? The rise of artificial intelligence has ushered in a new technological era that promises significant productivity gains, cost reductions, and transformative efficiencies across all sectors. However, behind these promises lies a growing economic concern. AI is accelerating a structural shift in the U.S. labor market that threatens the stability and very existence of the middle class. Historically, the middle class has been the backbone of the U.S. economy, sustained by a broad base of white-collar jobs in sectors such as finance, education, and law. The automation of traditional tasks performed by mid-skilled professionals is severely affecting the American middle class.
Computer software and industrial machines now fill roles from clerical tasks to routine manufacturing that once produced middle-class incomes for workers without college degrees.
At the same time, wealth is increasingly concentrated in a small elite that owns AI companies. Although much of the public attention has focused on how automation threatens blue-collar manufacturing jobs, a quieter revolution is unfolding in white-collar sectors. In fields that were traditionally considered immune to automation, such as law, journalism, and finance, AI is already displacing workers. For example, AI tools are being used by law firms to draft legal documents, by newsrooms to generate content, and by corporations to replace customer service agents. A 2024 McKinsey report estimated that between 15 and 30% of working hours in white-collar jobs could be automated by 2030. But what is most concerning is the impact on careers that have traditionally defined the American middle class.
Artificial intelligence is advancing at breakneck speed, and the
Okay, I need to win a game. It's time to win a game. All right, white won. Let me get a new game. All right, this is a pride game now. No, pride in having pride, not pride like multicolored pride. Not that. Yeah. Let me get this going the right way. All right, what we doing? What we doing? I don't quite know. But whatsoever